I wanted to take a moment and read to you what is, in my mind, a very poignant excerpt from Death of the Liberal Class, a book by Chris Hedges published in 2010. The mechanisms of control which usually work to maintain a high level of fear among the populace have produced, despite these admissions of failure, the patriotic citizen. Plagued by job losses, bankrupted by medical bills, foreclosed on his or her house, and worried about possible terrorist attacks. In this historical vacuum, the patriotic citizen clings to the privilege of being a patriot. Or perhaps the double privilege of being white and a patriot. The retreat into tribal identity is a desperate attempt to maintain self-worth and self-importance at a time of deep personal and ideological confusion. The patriotic citizen, although abused by the actual policies of the state, unfailingly supports widespread surveillance and permanent war. The patriotic citizen does not question the $1 trillion in defense-related spending. The patriotic citizen accepts that the 18 military and civilian intelligence agencies, most of whose work is now outsourced to private corporations, are held above government. The patriotic citizen accepts that the state's assertion that it needs more police, prisons, inmates, spies, mercenaries, weapons, and troops than any other industrialized nation. The patriotic citizen objects when anyone suggests that military budgets can be cut, that troops need to come home, that domestic policies need more attention than the pursuit of permanent war. The military-industrial lobbies have ensured that military budgets are untouchable. The patriotic citizen admires the military and somehow pretends that the military is not part of the government. In the name of patriotism, the most powerful instruments of state power and control are effectively removed from public discussion. We endure more state control than at any time in U.S. history, and the liberal class, whose task was once to monitor and protest the excess of the power elite, has assisted in this route. The failure by the liberal class to articulate an alternative in a time of financial and environmental collapse clears the way for military values of hypermasculinity, blind obedience, and violence. A confused culture disdains the empathy and compassion espoused by traditional liberalism. This cruelty runs like an electric current through reality television and trash talk programs where contestants endure pain, humiliation, while they betray and manipulate those around them in the ruthless world of competition. These are the values championed by the increasingly militarized society and the manipulation of dishonesty on Wall Street. Friendship, trust, solidarity, honesty, and compassion are banished for the unadulterated world of competition. This hypermasculinity, the core of pornography, fuses violence and eroticism as well as the physical and emotional degradation of women. It is the language employed by the corporate state. Human beings are reduced to commodities. Corporations, which are despotic, authoritarian enclaves devoted to maximizing profit and ensuring that all employees speak from the same prompt cards, have infected the wider society with their values. Hypermasculinity crushes the capacity for moral autonomy, difference, and diversity. It isolates us from one another. It is the logical fruition of Abu Ghraib prison, the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, along with our lack of compassion for our homeless, our poor, our mentally ill, our unemployed, our sick, our gay, lesbian, transgender, and bisexual citizens. It is the antithesis of liberalism.